tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all.
LeBron and Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater, and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy, I'm Ken Griffey, or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad and Emery. Marques, Brad, Justin, Emery.
Yo.
So, first off, you were looking at the head coach now of varsity Penridge South boys, Penridge South girls. After 1 year, I've been promoted.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Weren't you the head coach last year, though?
I was the junior varsity coach last year.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
JV. I am now varsity.
Gotcha.
Squads.
Gotcha.
We're out for murder this year.
Gotcha.
We're out for murder.
I was under the impression you were the head coach last year.
I did girls last year. Now I'm doing girls and boys.
That's gonna suck.
What's that?
That's gonna suck.
Why's that?
The boys don't listen.
To me, they will. I'm working out right now. I don't have those problems.
Yeah, boys don't listen.
Boys, yeah, I do. Boys are a little more difficult than girls because, well, in sports, boys are more difficult than girls because boys have more athleticism than girls.
Well,
so they don't like listening.
Speaking of girls basketball, since you're now the head coach, promoted to the better team's head coach.
Yes.
Which I'm assuming you're going to bring the defense with you.
Oh, absolutely. I've already worked on and created some defenses that no one's ever seen before.
Okay.
I'm glad.
Speaking about women's basketball, though, I will be watching the WNBA tonight, Marcus, and I will be betting on the WNBA tonight.
It's a bold move. What are you betting?
I haven't looked at specific bets, but I can tell you the game I'll be betting on.
Okay, what's that?
That will be the Mercury versus the Aces, which is Phoenix against Vegas.
Okay. What's the betting interest?
Vegas is just like the 96 Bulls right now.
Okay.
They have 3 different players that have won the MVP in the last 5 years.
Wow.
They have Becky Harmon, who obviously used to be the Spurs bench coach, that came over to be their head coach.
Okay.
And is just running laps around the rest of the league from a coaching standpoint. I would not be surprised if she's plucked from the WNBA to be an NBA head coach within the next 3 years.
Well, sure. Her name's been hot for about 5 to 7.
Like if she came over the WNBA and wins a title in her first year, or wins like 2 titles in her first 3 or 4 years,
she'll
get picked up.
Yeah, it'd be a big deal. Big deal.
But the Aces have been very nice to my bankroll.
Okay.
As I build it for football season. So I'm gonna. They got the number 1 seed. We're gonna steamroll right into the playoffs. Game 1 tonight, 10 o'clock.
I'd love to see it.
Which means that I'll watch the first quarter and then fall asleep.
In other news, the Eagles are underway. Played a game with live people against the Jets on last Friday.
Oh, we're doing Eagles talk. We're doing No, well, I had made us a specific Eagles background, a football Eagles background, but I what's that?
It's not cooperating.
No, it's not cooperating. But I did build it. We'll have it for the regular season. But
my mouth is cooperating, so we'll just talk about it today.
Okay.
So the Eagles get underway. A little bit from the starters, not a lot, but when you score on the first drive, you deserve to get out of there after preseason game number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, before everyone gets all excited and all giddy, I want to caution you that as excited you may be about Jalen Hurts' first drive, I want to remind you of Sam Bradford's first drive as an Eagle in a preseason game against the Packers. That 13 for 13.
I drafted Sam Bradford in number 1 overall in fantasy that year based off of that.
Yeah. So
it's
everyone just calm down. Just calm down. I know it was nice. He did look good. I'm not like he did look good, but remember, it's preseason. It's a base defense. There's no game planning. It's the Jets. There's a lot of things that you got to be careful about this, but you got to give props where props is due. He did look good. He did make some nice throws. The throw to Goddard, as Dan Orlowski broke down very nicely after that game, was a great throw. He got the ball out of his hands quickly. He looked decisive, which is nice. So yeah, these are good signs. But again, everyone calm down, pump the brakes, relax. We'll see. Again, it's still like you said, the evaluations really begin during the regular season, not now. And
I don't need to. You're not going to impress me going 6 for 6 against the New York Jets.
right.
Like that, that's not when you're going to impress me. You're going to impress me when you go 24 for 32 for 288 and 3 touchdowns against the Detroit Lions on September 11th. Then we'll talk.
And I'm still not there yet at that point. I still need more.
Yes.
I want to see it. I want to see it against quality opponents.
But I'll at least entertain the conversation then, though.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Because listen, I mean, he looked really good against the Falcons last year in week 1.
I went back and actually listened to that episode that we did after it.
Yeah, we were very excited.
We both said this is the offense they need to run. This is the offense that is built around him. And then what happened for the following 6 games after that?
Throw.
Not good.
Not good at all. And then they went to a high school offense and it worked, but it was just not an NFL offense. That week 1 against the Falcons looked like an NFL offense. But we'll see. I mean, it was nice to see live NFL action. See it back. I mean, it's just nothing like the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nothing like the NFL to get your juices flowing. But at the end of the day, the defense, Kazir White gets an interception, which was nice to see. You got to be really excited about the Eagles starting linebackers, and excited about the Eagles defense. I mean, it's a lot of things to be excited about with this football team. It's just that, like I said, with the offense, we'll see.
I did something yesterday.
What's that?
And it just shows you how confident I am in the Eagles defense.
Okay.
I placed a large wager on Jordan Davis to win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
This man's already getting triple teamed.
He's 20-1 odds right now. And I was looking at the guys ahead of him. They all play for crap teams, except for Kyle Hamilton. And he's not having a good training camp. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't be a great player, and because he's a Baltimore Raven, and Ravens just perennially have a great defense. But if everything I hear coming out of training camp is true, and then when you get out there and you take off the training wheels and just let them go, I might be cashing a nice ticket, Marcus.
Yeah, that sounds like a precious ticket.
The defensive line is going to be the deepest D line they've had since the Super Bowl year.
Correct.
Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, that's the third guy, right?
Hargrave.
They're gonna be the 3 guys in the middle with Graham and Barnett and Sweat and Riddick on the outside.
Yeah. It's gonna be nice.
And
you know what pressure means? Interceptions.
Well, let's hope it means interceptions. It's supposed to. Let's put it like that.
With big play Slay back there and Bradbury on the other side, I feel pretty good about their chances of hauling in some picks this year. I
like the fact that we have linebackers. I can't remember the last time we had linebackers.
Trotter, Reese, Edmonds.
Oh,
yes.
I mean, well, are we talking individual linebacker? Because there's one guy that I think that you're being a little disrespectful to, and he probably just slipped your mind. But there has been one guy I feel like we've had a real linebacker since Trotter.
D'Amico Ryans.
There you go.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about him a little bit until you start saying that. But yeah, D'Amico Ryans was really good.
Would you consider Connor Barwin a linebacker or D end?
I mean, that system he's like a linebacker, so I guess you can call him a linebacker. But yeah, I guess he's more of a D end. But yeah, like
last 20 years, other than D'Amico Ryans, they haven't had a linebacker.
No, and that group I mentioned was like the best group they've had in since well, it was pretty good around here for a while, linebackers. Because before that group, you had Joyner, Evans, Michael T. So then you went from that group kind of into the Trotter, Reese, Emmons group. So it was for a while we had a good thing going.
They had him, Dahani Jones,
Dahani,
the banjo.
Yeah.
They had linebackers.
Yeah, they did. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, we don't care about those people anymore. So
yeah, it got real weird there for a minute.
It got very weird. But I'm glad we're back to a linebacker core we can be proud of.
Speaking of proud linebackers, did you catch the retirement news last week? Kiko Alonso is officially retired from the NFL.
Okay. Did he retire or did someone just not pick him up? There's a difference.
Didn't he have? I believe he had like a devastating injury, and I just think he just.
I mean, certain people you shouldn't be allowed to announce your retirement when it's just assumed you're not playing anymore. Like announcing your retirement is reserved for select people that has contributed majorly to football teams, or not just football, any organization. You can't like announce your retirement if you like the bus boy at your local grocery store doesn't get to announce their retirement. Just assumed you just don't work there anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kiko.
What a disappointment.
I mean, was he a disappointment? I don't really know. What was the expectations for Kiko Alonso?
Well, no, I'm saying based off of his rookie year, he was an animal, and then he was.
I guess. I feel like that's so far moved, and the fact that he was here, it was just no.
Well, like Kiko or Buffalo Kiko is different than Philadelphia Kiko.
Yeah, Philadelphia Kiko wanted nothing to do with contact.
No,
and you can't be a linebacker.
But it was weird because
contact.
It was weird because Buffalo Kiko killed everything that moved.
Yeah, that's who we thought we were getting.
With him and Matt Milano would just erase everything on the field.
We didn't get that.
No, we didn't. And they got shady.
Yeah, we got a what are they called? What are the dudes that hold the dudes that hold the towels and they what are they called? They hold in the Matador. There we go. We got Matador.
Yeah,
that's what we got instead. But
yeah, we did.
Anyway, so shifting gears, we'll talk a little baseball. The Phillies actually just lost about a half hour ago to the Reds, 1-0.
Whatever.
Tough day for the bats. No big deal. 2 out of 3. Bright side, Ranger looks incredible. I think there's no question that he is your 3. I think a lot of people had questions about coming in this year, obviously after how great he was second half of last year. It's no way this guy could do it again. But if you look at the numbers from June to now, he's basically been the same guy. Got off to a rough start, but he's that guy. He's went today. He did 7 scoreless, 3 hit ball. And the guy knows how to pitch. I feel like he's your 3, right? If the playoffs started today, no question Ranger Suarez your 3. Interesting thing about Noah Syndergaard though. Had to start, pitched okay. I would listen to Ben Davis on commentary talk about Tommy John surgery. This is something that hasn't dawned on me, and maybe I'm late to the party on this. So he was talking about his Tommy John surgery, and he was talking about that compared to pitchers, and how the last thing to come back in Tommy John is your arm. Like everything else that he had it with, he said he had it with Randy Wolf back in the early 2000s, and they worked out together. And the last thing to come back for both of them was their arm strength. I bring that up because of this reason. If you followed baseball, you know Noah Syndergaard's legendary arm before Tommy John. So my question is, after hearing that bit of information, is there an actual shot that his arm can return back to that form? Can that happen? Verlander got Tommy John, right? Now obviously Verlander's the unicorn. Like he's a different breed. But
I love Justin Verlander.
how can you not? But the thing is like, this guy is like, you look at Noah Syndergaard, he's a big man. He's a big dude, solid, not a sloppy solid, takes care of himself. And he's still in that window where the recovery is still imminent with Tommy John. Like he's performing, but he's still in recovery mode. He's still in that window. I think he got, so was it 2020 get surgery?
Who?
Syndergaard?
Right now I'm looking up Justin Verlander, but I'll look up Syndergaard real quick.
I believe it was 2020 he got the surgery.
It was, yes.
So he got it in 2020. So we're in we're
March
August
2020.
March 2020, we're August 2022. So we're still in the recovery zone.
Oh, hold on. I just uncovered an article. From the New York Daily News from May 21, saying that Noah Syndergaard has major setback in rehab.
May 2021.
May 2021, yes.
Okay. So, we're still
obviously
in recovery mode.
Obviously not being,
when he came back.
Yeah, obviously not being a Mets fan, I didn't, we didn't pay attention to any of his returns or anything like that.
Right. So I'm guessing if he had a setback May 2021, did he start this? Was this his first year back? Did he start this season?
Not sure. Still.
I'm just talking aloud because or he came back late last year, and then he started this season fresh. Maybe that's what happened.
Let's see. He was shut down through the All-Star game last year.
Okay.
So we know that at the earliest he came back was the All-Star game last year. So let me see if we can lock this down.
So let's just assume it was like August last year he comes back. We still are in that window. So here's the thing. Did we just steal Thor?
So Verlander had it in October 2020.
He's a freak, though. He's just a freak. Like, there's nothing else to say. He's like, I shouldn't even have brought him up in this conversation.
Well, let me ask you this, okay? Let me do there's really only like 3 to 5 guys that you can even compare Verlander to as current players.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Verlander? I'm talking embodiment of work, everything.
Okay.
Verlander or Scherzer?
I mean, I love me some Mad Max. I'm going to go Verlander.
Verlander or Kershaw?
Verlander. Definitely Verlander.
They're really the only 2 guys off the top of my head I can think of that are comparable to him.
I would agree.
I mean, he's not going to ever, I think, be healthy enough to be compared to him again or to be a viable starter again, but he's making his way through his minor league rehabs. Chris Sale, 2 Cy Youngs.
Yeah.
But it looks like his arm's just falling apart and that he's a shell of himself. So he's.
Yeah, we don't have many legacy guys wise right now. Right now, you're getting guys in their prime going right now. But those are legacy guys you mentioned. We don't really have a lot of those.
Am I missing any of them?
No, not legacy guys.
Yeah.
We can throw out, the guys of today.
Has Garrett Cole reached legacy or not yet?
No, he's
not yet.
I think he's still a prime guy.
Okay.
Is
King Felix still out in Seattle or no?
No.
Mm-mm. I showed you how much I stay up on baseball.
But no, could we possibly have stolen Thor? If this guy is still, and he's only, I believe, 29. So there's a chance. There is a chance. I don't want to say a good chance. I feel like I say a good chance.
His birthday's next week. He's about to turn 30.
Okay, there's a chance. I'm not going to say a good chance because I want to get people too riled up. But there's a chance this guy could come back out of spring training next year throwing 98, 99. There's a chance.
Oh, actually, this just came out. This just came out 2 hours ago. The Phillies pushed his start back. He's not starting. This
Out of
week.
rotation?
Yeah, he's out of the rotation right
Is
now.
there some arm issues?
They
say?
It's let me just read it. It's from who wrote this story real quick. It is from CBS's Matt Snyder.
Okay.
I don't know who it is, but I trust CBS. So
yes, absolutely.
Let's see. Circumstance pushed him back.
I guess that story developing because this is the first I'm hearing of it. So obviously it must have just happened.
It's posted at 1:04 p.m.
Interesting. So within the last 2 hours. Interesting. Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled on that. So I was just thinking, listening, I was like,
apparently it's just
precautionary
rest to monitor his workload.
Okay, and then you have enough. The nice thing is for the regular season, you have enough guys where you can do that with. So that's that's what you need to do. This, but like I said, there's a chance this guy could be coming out spring training next year, getting you 98, 99, and that's exciting, But obviously, want to focus on this year. The squad's playing well. Weird game. I can't really fault him for what happened in New York. You take great pitching matchups. Sunday things got a little weird. Balls were hit softly. It wasn't anything. Zach Wheeler didn't get touched up. Balls just fell in the wrong spots. And sometimes it's gonna happen. Nola pitched his heart out. Gave you 8 innings of 1-run ball. Looked incredible doing it. You managed to get one Friday. You got 4 of them against the Mets this weekend. Off day tomorrow, 4 games against the Mets this weekend, including a doubleheader, day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Big series.
So Syndergaard made his return to the majors September 29th.
Okay.
2021.
29th?
September. He only pitched 2.
This is literally like the end of the season.
He pitched 2. Well, what it was is he came back, pitched 1, 2, 3, pitched 5 starts pre-All-Star game, shut down, came back through 2. So he had 7 starts last year.
Gotcha. So yeah,
basically this year. So yes, to answer your question.
Yeah.
However, here's the caveat. If he does not come back next year, then this is probably what he is.
Right. But there's a chance.
There's a
chance we can have Thor back.
I'd say there's even a hope of it. Not even a chance. I'd say there should be a hope of it.
It's a good investment.
There are worse number 4s and 5s in the league than Syndergaard.
Right.
If you cut him at the end of this year, another team would sign him.
Of course. And the thing is, if I'm the Phillies, I'm holding on. I'm seeing what's happening in spring training. Because this guy's you're 4 throwing 99 gas at you. Pretty good.
Yeah, I was listening to the broadcast on the radio yesterday on my way down to the Borgata, and is it Eric Kratz is the name? Eric Kratz? Whichever his name is. The guy who he does it. But anyway, he was like, yeah. He's like, it's always now your off-speed pitch that matters. He goes, because nowadays, everybody sees 100 every single night. Everybody's throwing 100 miles an hour. Everybody's gas, 100, 100. It's what can you do off of that 100 that will make you stay in Major League Baseball.
Right.
And then he goes, but there's those guys that 100 miles an hour is not all created equal.
Correct. Yeah.
And he goes, and Syndergaard is one of those guys where 100 miles an hour is not created equal.
His 100 was silly.
Yes.
And sometimes 102. Like, this man was terrifying, I'm sure, to face at the plate. So I actually finished up The Captain.
Oh, nice.
I
watched a couple episodes of it.
This was the documentary that Tom Brady thought he was creating. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, Tom Brady's was not good, was it?
No, it really was. And like, it's really disappointing because they wasted.
Well, the Man in the Arena, is that what it's called? Or the Arena?
Man in the Arena.
Man in the Arena.
It was just so low budget. It didn't feel theatrical. I'm not sure. I know Jeter used the same guys that did The Last Dance, which obviously they did an incredible job on that. And this was in that vein. It felt big. Like it felt like you were watching something really important. Like Brady's documentary felt like I was watching something that wasn't a big deal. And we're talking about, the greatest quarterback of all time. So like I don't know where was lost translation, but they didn't do a good job at all. I didn't even finish that because I was just like, I don't want to watch this anymore. But the captain, like I was glued. Like it was riveting. They really pretty much the parallel of the whole story is the rivalry between Jeter and Rodriguez and their issues, which they really went into detail about and about their how they really for a while they were really good friends and it went south and why it went south. It was I'll tell you, it was hard to relive 2009 again because man, that Philly team should have won, should have beat that team. They were a better team.
The 09 team was better than the 08 team that won it.
I completely agree. I think everyone agrees they were better. So it was really hard.
Funny. The 08 team that won it was probably the worst team of that run.
Agreed.
Like not 07. 07
were 10 and 11. And then I would rank them 11, 10, 9, 8.
Yeah, and I would say that in that order.
Yeah. Well, I think 10 actually was better than 11 because 10 had a better offense. 11 was without Worth.
No. And the reason I'll tell you no is 102 wins.
Yeah, but they also the pitching was so dominant, but that team didn't really score. I mean, that pitching was just ridiculous. But like I feel 10 was like if I was to take two teams, I'd take 10 because like I said, 10 had Worth. And 11 didn't. And 11 struggled at times to score.
Yeah, but I mean, 11 had
2-1.
11 had
that was kind of their downfall. That was kind of the reason why they didn't get past far in the playoffs is that in the playoffs, every game's tight and every game's close, and they couldn't score enough runs.
But the drop off from Worth to Hunter Pence it shouldn't have been that big though.
But it was. It definitely was big. Pence did not have the production that Worth did. They missed. Jason Worth is one of the big reasons for that fall off. Like they really, really missed him behind. Really, it was you lose Burrow, but it's okay in 08 because you got Worth happening in 09 and 10. Once they lost Worth, it was a huge loss, huge blow. Pence was much better out in San Francisco after he left the Philly than he was in Philadelphia. I don't know what happened here, but he wasn't great here. It looked like it would have been a great fit, but for some reason it just wasn't. But anyway, the captain was awesome. It was awesome. Like I really it really did a great job. I feel summing up Derek Jeter and one of the the greatest times really for me in baseball. Like I was being a Phillies fan, obviously we don't have a lot of playoff success. But I was that 96 to like 2006 before the Phillies got really good. Like I watched a lot of playoff baseball. And obviously if you did watch playoff baseball, you watched a lot of Yankees baseball. So it was cool. Like, the Pettits, the Posadas, the Riveras, all those names. Like, I you remember because I watched so much of that sport at that time. But Jeter was awesome. Jeter's he's a good interview. It was well done in the sense that like there were some guys in there that were critical of him and some of his leadership tactics and things of that nature. I thought was pretty cool to see. I like it when a documentary kind of hits all angles and it's not just like this guy was the greatest thing in the world. Even really great players, like there's sides. Every great story has to have some sort of conflict.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You're being unfair to Hunter Pence.
Okay.
He only played one season with the Phillies.
This is a full season or when he got traded here?
Full season.
Okay. This is 2012?
11.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No. This was... Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes. 28 home runs, 94 RBIs, 324 batting average.
As a Philly or for the entire year?
That is as a Philly. That is only his Philly stats. That is Hunter Pence in a Phillies.
So this has to be 2012.
Philly. Yeah, that's what I said.
Right. Okay.
In a Phillies.
Yeah,
uniform.
but the team wasn't great by that point with the injuries stuff like that. I'm talking about when he came over. When he came over from 11, that 6 month.
When he came over in 11,
He came over in 11.
In only 11, he had 35 RBIs and 11 home runs in 44 games.
Okay.
So he had 35 RBIs in 44 games.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I mean, I guess, I would agree. I'm being a little unfair. He's better than I thought, but he still wasn't worth.
He made the All-Star game the following year as a Philly in 12.
Yeah.
So like
12 had a good year.
Like, Worth was a better player. I'm not going to dispute that. But it's not like they got chopped liver to replace him.
Yeah, you're right. I would agree.
They got an all-star, a fringe all-star player to replace a all-star player.
And that 12 season is just lost because the team wasn't great.
Howard blew out his knee or his
Utley's chronic knee issues.
Yeah,
so he missed half a year. So I would agree with you. But if you haven't had a chance to check out The Captain, definitely do so.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really good. Don't watch Man in the Arena. It's really, really bad.
Wasn't good.
So moving on, Ben Simmons and the Sixers have reached a settlement in his grievance with the team last year. I think the Sixers kind of just looked at this as, I don't want to go to court. I don't want to do this.
I think my guess is that it's probably around 10 million.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
They wanted to give him 0. Ben Simmons wanted 20.
Right.
They probably went to him and said, listen, why don't we meet in the middle at 10? You want this over with. We want this over with.
Right.
Here's
everyone wants to move on.
Yes.
I'll go back to my statements last year about this. The CBA, when it comes up, there's going to be some big time Ben Simmons type.
The NBA owners are coming for blood from the players.
Oh, of course.
And it's going to be very hard for them not to be justified.
And and now it's Ben Simmons, it's Kyrie Irving, but now you got to put Kevin Durant in here too, because I understand why he's disgruntled with Brooklyn, but you just signed a contract like last year, a 4-year deal.
Yeah, I understand why.
You're a more established player than Ben Simmons, but it's the same type of story. You just signed a huge contract. Now you want to trade.
Yeah, just because you're mad that they're not helping you doesn't mean you can do that.
Right. So it's going to be this CBA is going to be this is going to be the most interesting and talked about negotiation between player and owner maybe in the history of sports.
And they're coming for
no one really cares about this stuff usually, but I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on this conversation.
They're coming.
Everything we've seen. And also, the writing's been on the wall for years and years because the NBA is the most player-friendly league. And, now you're seeing some things being taken advantage of. And, there's going to be a reckoning.
Billionaires don't like to be embarrassed.
No. So there's definitely going to be a reckoning for that. So that'll be interesting to see. Sixers schedule came out today. I don't have that yet, but we do know Sixers will be opening up basketball against the Celtics opening night. Actually, the Sixers have 2 opening nights. They open up with the Celtics and then the Bucks opening night on Thursday. So they'll probably be a TNT game also. But they'll have TNT on Tuesday against Celtics. Will be nice.
Oh, it is. No, it is a TNT game.
Yes, and the Bucks on Thursday.
I also saw that the first your man Scoop has the whole schedule.
Scoop got us.
Oh, he was dropping bombs last night on the timeline. He dropped, no joke, probably like 30-40 Nets games.
And also Sixers, you got Sixers Knicks, Madison Square Garden.
He dropped when the Nets are Ben's. We actually play the season finale. Is Sixers at Brooklyn, the last game of the season.
Interesting.
Sometime.
You got when they come here yet?
He has it out. I forget when but he has it on his Twitter feed. Let me just pull it up.
Sure, that'll be national television.
It is. It's a TNT game.
Of course.
No, yeah. Scoop was whoever his connect or his source is was dropping bombs. He had the whole schedule last night. pretty much posted, and then the Brooklyn Nets today posted it, and everything he said was spot on. Like he
I
would.
think it goes out saying I think the Sixers are going to be really good this year, but it's always feels good to know that the NBA knows that also. By the schedule they're giving the Sixers and being on opening night, being the first, they're going to be the first game.
November 22nd. It's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Okay, wow. Being that first game is an honor. That first game, the first tip, it's a big deal. So giving it to the Sixers, who didn't get out of the second round last year, you can know the NBA and television wants these Sixers because we all have.
When is this?
High hopes. That's October 16th, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Christmas game because that game.
Oh no.
That game's gonna be irrelevant.
The next game?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's a Sunday.
So what does that mean?
You're going up against Week 17 NFL.
Yeah, well,
I'm talking about from a viewership standpoint. It's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah, well, you got Eagles.
No, I'm going to watch the game. Don't get me wrong. I love NBA.
Yeah, against the NFL is never good. You got Eagles, Cowboys Christmas Eve, and then you got Sixers next Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm. My assumption is going to be the noon tip.
Say that again.
My assumption is that they are going to be the noon tip.
Yeah, it'll be an earlier game, 12, 2:30, one of those time slots.
Well, they put out the game. Like, I'm assuming the Celtics Bucks game is probably going to be the prime 3:00 game.
I respect Ja Morant hustling his way into the primetime Christmas pie against the Warriors. Respect.
Yeah, that was weird.
In all actuality, they shouldn't be there, but I respect the fact that he hustles his way in that spot by talking some ish to Draymond over Twitter.
Yeah.
Christmas Day I don't have a problem with. They should be playing the Warriors Christmas Day. It should be Warriors Celtics Christmas Day.
Yeah. Did you see what Chad said to Ja Morant on Twitter?
No.
So you remember the tweet where he put out where he's like, "Yeah, we'll bring him to the trenches or whatever."
Yeah.
Chad commented on it, was like, "You went to a prep school, had a private basketball coach growing up, and now you're a multimillionaire in the NBA. What do you know about the trenches?" Ja Morant turned around and blocked him.
Ja Morant blocked him? He hit him with the bunny rabbit? The bee rabbit and blocked him? Speaking of bee rabbit, Eminem, the target of a 10-minute diss track.
Yeah.
From Jayceon Taylor, better known as The Game.
Is it Jayceon or Jason? Because he says Jason in songs.
Well, he spells it Jayceon.
Oh, he definitely.
I think we actually had this conversation before.
Yeah,
I think he pronounces it Jason.
He definitely spells it Jayceon. There's no doubt about that.
It's Jayceon. I think he spells it like that. That's Jayceon.
But in songs, he'll be like, blah, blah, blah. When he talking about himself, he said blah, 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 Jason.
Yeah. No, you're right. Well, I've always referred to him as Jayceon because I don't know grammar.
I had a person who shall remain nameless of one of my friends that thought Kawhi Leonard and Kyrie Irving had the same first name.
What?
Both people were Kyrie and Kawhi. Like, it was Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Irving and Kyrie Leonard and Kawhi Leonard. Like, both names were interchangeable to them because they couldn't get past that they were two different names.
That's wild.
Not that they were the same people, but it was like they had the same name.
So it's bad when Eminem dropped Curtain Call 2 a week ago.
He dropped a new album?
No, it's you remember Curtain Call from back in the day where he does the greatest hits?
Was that like the greatest? That was the greatest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he actually did release it's 2 unreleased songs on Curtain Call 2. The unreleased songs, the tracks from the song actually did better than the Game's entire album.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. I'll say this about the Black Slim Shady. It's light. It's not anything overly impressive. Honestly, if you really want to get real about it, I think Rap Devil, Machine Gun Kelly, is actually a better diss than the Black Slim Shady. The Black Slim Shady was a little confusing because on one hand, the Game is saying nobody listens to your music, but that's the other hand, he's literally taking every flow that Eminem's ever used since 1999. So both of those things can't be true. If you're not listening to his albums, how is it possible that you know every flow? And he was using some obscure flow. It wasn't just like the Lose Yourself flow or the Superman flow. He was taking some obscure B-side Eminem flows that not a lot of people know about and using them as part of the record. Obviously, you got to do the Haley diss, so that's in there. Here's the bottom line. No, it was not great. However, Eminem must respond to this. The reason he must respond to this is because, throughout his career, Eminem's legacy and legend of being one of the greatest battle rappers we've ever seen, being a guy you don't want to mess with, a lot of that legacy came from before he got into the mainstream of hip-hop. It came from the Rap Olympics days, all the stories about him back in Detroit battling everybody. That's where most of that comes from. If you look at his resume of rappers he's going at, not that impressive. You got Benzino, you got Cannabis, who probably is the best noted rapper of the crew. The Ja Rule situation, but my God, who wasn't beefing with Ja Rule in 2003? He literally got rap jumped by everybody.
Yep.
So
he didn't have enough time to respond to every song.
No, no, he really didn't. Like, who has time? And plus, oh, by the way, they were being invaded by the feds at the time too, so he had bigger things to worry about. So then you add into the
how are you gonna be? You get investigated by the first. You get rap jumped by everybody.
Yeah, it's a bad couple years for Rank.
The feds bust your door down.
They do.
And then you still think it's a good idea to go and get involved in Firefest.
Right.
He deserved to get rap jumped. Looking back on it,
we all owe Ja Rule an apology.
I didn't say we did.
All owe him an apology. We were really mean to Ja Rule for no reason.
He deserved it. Looking back at it,
we literally said, Ja Rule, you suck because you sing, and then we're listening to 50 Cent 21 Questions.
But my point is that looking back at it, he needed to get jumped.
Anyway, but then on the other hand of that, you have that history, but then you responded to Mariah Carey, you responded to Nick Cannon, you bullied Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, you NSYNC, Limp Bizkit, all of
made Machine Gun Kelly turn to a different genre.
Right, Everlast. That's not this. Like, say what you want about the game in this disc. No, it's not great, but the game can rap. The game is a legend in this genre, and like, you need to respond to this for the culture. This is what rap is. Like, this is what you do. Like, you're not like, if Game did this to Jay-Z and Jay-Z didn't respond, I wouldn't be offended, because Jay-Z's doing 4,000 other things. He's all these businesses. He's he still raps, but he has all this other stuff going on. Eminem's only job is rap. Yeah. This is what you do. This is what you do. This is your calling card. You sit around waiting to rap. So
you wait until the bat signal comes up, and then you
right. I'm gonna be very disappointed if he doesn't respond. But if he does respond, listen, there's certain things in the world we know. You don't kill John Wick's dog. You don't say Candyman 3 times to a mirror, and you don't talk about Haley. You don't do that. So,
side note about Haley, real quick. She just started a podcast.
Yeah, just a little bit shady. She's calling it.
Yeah,
I did watch the first episode. Her and one of her good friends. I watched the first episode. I think they put out another episode. We watched the first episode. Yeah, she's definitely making herself more into the light now. You're definitely seeing a lot more of her.
I mean, listen, she will probably be able to get through any door she wants, because she has one of the most famous people in the world as her dad.
Right. And not just that, who's backed by Jimmy Iovine, another guy who knows everybody
in the world. That doesn't help the fact that she's also attractive.
Doesn't hurt. Yeah, she's very pretty. He did very well there. So like, for me, he has to respond to this. There's no getting out of it. He has to respond to this. No, it was not great. It wasn't great because the song kind of
too damn long.
Huh?
It's too damn long.
Yeah.
But now, we don't need these 10-minute diss tracks.
When he dissed G Unit back in the day,
300 bars and running.
Crazy.
That was
incredible. But this was not. And that was about 10 minutes long. But
15.
also, too, another thing about that song that made it okay to be 10 minutes, he kept switching the beat. The beats kept switching, and he kept rapping over classic beat after classic beat. So it gave it a different feel to it, where this is just the same beat for 10 minutes long. So that made it a little more tough. This is obviously, like, first of all, it's a couple reasons. He's really upset about not being included in the Super Bowl. And this was obviously promo for his album.
Thing is, like, how do you bring? We've said this before. How do you bring him to the Super Bowl?
Right. You can't do it because, number one, he's just the thing about the game. He's not mainstream enough to be on that stage.
I was gonna say, if you're a rap fan, you know who he is.
Right.
If you are from California, you know who he is. If you're not a rap fan and not from California, the ability or the probability that you know who he is drops dramatically.
He has a huge, like, he's really big overseas.
Oh, is he?
But like, when in the US, his stock is definitely fallen. If you think about his biggest songs, How We Do, Hate It or Love It, I would argue that people look at those more as 50 Cent songs than do Game songs.
Yes.
So I don't
mean,
think so unless you're bringing them out to perform those songs with 50 Cent, which you can't because they hate each other.
Yes.
So how is this going to work?
I mean, the only person, or let me rephrase that. That's not what I meant to say. It always seems like every one of his good songs, like, give me a true Game song as a classic that doesn't have a feature.
He doesn't have any.
Every one of his top shelf singles have a feature.
Correct.
And it's usually one of two people. 50 Cent
or Wayne.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. He doesn't when you look at all of his albums, they're very feature heavy.
Yes.
So like, yeah, I mean he doesn't.
And his best solo work is his mixtapes, and you can't play that at the Super Bowl.
Right. We're not getting a New Jersey Devil mixtape up there.
No.
It's not happening. So yeah, so I don't understand. He doesn't understand why he wasn't there.
You don't want Uncle Otis up there?
Right. Yeah.
Candy Corona?
Right. So he's going to perform Uncle Otis dissing Jay-Z at his own Super Bowl. No, it's not going to go over well. And plus, like, they've also had their weird history, those two. So yeah, it's just so many reasons why it didn't make sense. And like he has this thing with Dr. Dre where I think that he feels he was way more important than Dre than he actually was.
Yes.
Like he feels like he was Snoop or M to Dre, and he never had that relationship. So yeah, it's just. But anyway, I say all that to say this: M has to respond. I will be highly disappointed if Marshall Bruce Mathers III does not have something in my desk by this weekend. I want something by this weekend. I need it. Come on, Marshall. We need it. Stand up. You rap. Stand up and rap.
Do you think anybody's going to stop it?
No. I think this is not because he was gonna, like, when Nick Cannon made all those ridiculous diss records, he was gonna do one for him, and 50 said, "Bro, no, come on, don't respond to him. What are you doing? No one's gonna stop this. This is like a Machine Gun Kelly situation where it's like, nah, Em, you got. I hope there's people gassing him up and saying you need to do this.
Well, like, is Game still on Interscope?
No.
So there's no label issues or anything like that, right?
No. And
basically what I meant by that.
Even if he was, it's when he got moved to Geffen, that didn't stop 50 Cent because Geffen was part of Interscope. They moved him. He was on G Unit. Then he got moved to Geffen when he went through all those problems with 50 Cent, which Geffen is owned by Interscope. 50 and him still went back and forth because 50's a bigger artist. They're going to tell 50 Cent in 2005 what I can and can't do. So 50 still was going after him, even though they were label mates. But anyway, it has to happen. There's no excuse for this not to happen. I don't want to hear I'm too big because, bro, you went after some wild people. Like, we didn't need that. We didn't need that Limp Bizkit disc. I didn't need that. I didn't need girls. I didn't need I remember Distant Everlast. I didn't need
Oh
that.
no, I did. I needed.
It
I
was
remember.
entertaining. It was entertaining, but I didn't need it.
No, I needed. I remember.
I do love I Remember. It's a great song.
I did need that.
Yesterday was so long ago. Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit came around now, and nobody want to hear your old ass sing no more. Yeah, that was a great song. And then he killed him singing, and then
at the end, he just
Mark
dropped the
was
verse
crazy.
on him.
Yeah. No, that was. But like,
I
my
remember
point
that
is,
you had the knack.
yeah, right. My point is that this is a rapper. Say what you want about the game. This is a rapper. This is a rapper. The probably the biggest rapper that's really ever come after you for real. Like the Ja Rule situation was a situation with everybody. As more a 50 Cent situation. Eminem just kind of jumped in because it was a cool thing to do. Like I said at the time,
Everybody
so like it's one of those things where this is the biggest rapper I think that's ever came after you individually. Well, let's go, Em. Let's go. By the way, speaking of no, not speaking of anything. I'm watching a documentary. So A&E are doing all these documentaries on wrestling. Have you heard about this? The biographies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing another series right after called Rivals. They did WWE versus WCW. Guess who makes a cameo?
You?
Marcus Bradham. Interview from Marcus Bradham back in 1999.
How old are you?
I was 19.
Where
Jervis hits me up because like I'm watching this thing. It's funny because I forgot I even did this. So outside, I used to go to all the Raws back in the day, like all of them. Especially that time period. That's the best time period of wrestling history. The Attitude Era, when WCW was pretty good and stuff. So they were doing this thing all over the country where they were interviewing people outside the stadiums about what they thought about WWE and what they think about WCW, and they play it in the arena. So I did this interview. My best friend at the time did interview too.
What's somebody outside the
yeah
grabs you and just starts asking questions?
Exactly. Big camera, the light, after the whole thing. So like, I completely forgot about it. So I'm sitting here watching this on Friday night, watching with Amber, and my friend Eric. I'm like, yo, that's my guy Eric from back in the day. And I'm like, you see that because you saw a corner of my face at this point. I'm like, that's me. It's like, oh, that's crazy. We kind of move on. We keep watching. Next clip, there I am. We were like, what? Like we like it's nothing weirder. I don't know if this is probably something that haven't happened to a lot of people, but it is nothing weirder than seeing yourself on TV when you weren't expecting to see yourself on TV.
Can I give you something? It's wasn't on TV, but you know something weird.
What's that?
And as of last year, it was still there. So back when I was at Penn State Abington, they redid the gym, the athletics building there. Okay. And they did like full-size wraps on some of the walls.
Yeah.
There was a wrap. One of the things is me and my friend like standing there during, like it was taken during like a flag football game. It's just like me and him standing there like pointing and talking. Right. That is right outside the gym, like the weight room.
That's wild.
Penn State Abington and I remember walking by. Now, I was a student when they put it up, so I saw it.
Yeah.
But I had figured enough time had passed. They redid it. As of like a year ago, when I went there, I walked and I looked and I was like, I took a picture and I sent it to him and I was like, we're still here. And he goes, I can't believe they haven't redone it since then.
That's awesome.
I was like, well, listen, I was like, with an endowment this big, you would have assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was wild. Though I saw that in real time though.
Right.
It wasn't like,
well, this was like we called the kids down. I'm like, yo, do you know who that is? And they were like, at first, because I looked obviously a little different. I was clean shaven, shorter hair, way skinnier. So then they were like, they heard the voice like, that's you. I'm like, there I am. But Jervis texted because Jervis watching it. I was waiting for this to happen. Someone was gonna watch it. Jervis texted me. He was like, yo, you're on my TV right now. That's you. I was like, yeah, it's me. But yeah, it's one of the wildest spirits. And also pretty cool too. The fact that like I do some of that stuff for a living, knowing that like this big, huge documentary was sitting around editing footage, thousands and thousands of hours of footage, and they picked me. Like, that's crazy. It's mind-blowing. I think I appreciate it now more, now that I'm working on documentaries and stuff, than I would have appreciated like 5 years ago.
Do you remember what you said?
What's that?
You remember what you said?
Yeah. I said WWE number 1, WCW sucks. They picked that clip. I said way more. That's the clip they picked.
That's the clip they used.
Yeah, because I was very passionate about WCW sucking.
I was an
anyway,
NWO fan.
a wild moment.
I was an NWO guy.
Who was not? Of course.
Yeah.
This is 99 when WCW is kind of falling off and the NWO is old. But like I say to people all the time, that's the greatest angle in the history of wrestling. When the NWO first started, when Scott Hall comes over there and Kevin Nash, because like at the time, early internet days, you're not looking up everything to see who's a free agent, who's going where. It's Razor Ramon's on Nitro. Why is Razor Ramon? Why is Diesel on Nitro? What is happening? Like, it was that moment. So that's what made it so cool.
You know, I was a big NWO fan.
Yeah, that time period for me, because I was you were like what, 6 or 7?
What year was this?
96.
96. 7.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been watching that stuff, man. What were your parents doing? Let you watch that there? Some wild things out there at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
no, actually, the how I got into it was a video game came out, and it was called WCW versus NWO.
Oh, well, that came out after that, after the NWO debut. That's like, I love that game.
That game came out like 98, 99?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started watching then?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right, yeah, but yeah, I love that.
Like by that point in time, I was like 8, 9. I was like 9 years old.
THQ knows their stuff, man. That's so people are going to argue the 2K games WWE right now, but for me, that's the greatest wrestling video game ever invented. Was WCW versus NWO
World Tour, right?
What's that?
It was the World 97. It came out
97. Wow. I didn't realize it came out that soon. Okay.
Yeah, 97.
But yeah, that was just a great time. Like being a teenager, because there was a long period of time, especially in like the early 90s, where like being a wrestling fan was not cool.
Wow. How much do you think it took for them to make that game?
Easily in the millions. Because that game, the technology, how much?
$1 million.
1 mil?
$1 million.
Well,
how did they make a game?
$1 million well spent.
They made that game for $1 million, and Kurt Schilling blew $30 million and couldn't get a single game out.
Right. Yeah, THQ was a great company for stuff like that. They were awesome. That was a great game. But
do you remember
in the early 90s at all?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You had wrestlers. They joked around like wrestlers that had jobs, but they were wrestlers. Like that was the gimmicks back then. It was embarrassing. It was a clown show. So like it was cool in that.
Did you remember WCW versus the World?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as good as versus NWO, but
no, it wasn't. But yeah, that late 90s of wrestling was a great time because everyone was a wrestling fan. Wrestling became pop culture with Austin, The Rock, Mankind, Triple H, DX. Like who did not get in trouble from a teacher by doing a crop chop to a teacher? Like if you weren't walking down the hall and you see your friend in class and you hit him with a crotch chop, I don't know who you are. Like if you weren't doing that in the late 90s, if you weren't doing that in the 90s, you weren't living right.
No, I agree.
Your friend in class, like sitting there, and he gives attention, you wave him down, and you hit him with the crotch, and then the teacher sees you, Bradham, get back to class.
So I got a story. So one time, you know how like you're like changing classrooms, so like there's a whole bunch of different classes, like all in the hallway at the one time, going to different classrooms.
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple guys that you knew the people that didn't get along in the school. You know what I mean? You knew the kids like, all right, they don't like each other, even if they were in different grades.
Right.
There was one kid in a different grade that didn't like this guy that was in our grade.
Mm-hmm.
So they were passing each other in the hallway, and one of them gives him the crotch chop, and it turned into a brawl.
As it should.
And the teacher was just like, I'll never forget. The teacher broke him apart and was like, "Why do you start a fight?" And he looks at him and goes, "Because he gave me the crotch chop."
And they said, what?
The teacher was just like, the what?
Yeah, what is that?
He goes like this.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Don't do that again."
To show you how wild wrestling was back then, my junior year, I purchased a shirt, a DX shirt, with it was a black T-shirt with like the fluorescent green DX stuff. It was an arrow pointing south. Suck it across the chest. My principal was like, "Can you come with me, please? What is this?" It's like it's a wrestling T-shirt. It's like, was it inappropriate? You'd have to go home. It's like, I respect that. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go.
It's like the meme. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I get it. But that's where wrestling was. But it was right out. If you're a 15, 16, 17, 18 in that range, it was just the best time in the world. Like, I saw a lot of female breasts at wrestling events.
Oh, I'm sure.
The flashing was outrageous. Just it was an insane environment. Like, what was I doing there? But there I was. But
You were there.
Television. Speaking of television,
You're finally caught up.
I'm caught up, and it's all over.
Yep.
Yes, Better Call Saul concluded Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Moment of silence. So I'm going to start with this.
Okay.
I did not see Kim Wexler turning into Skylar White. And I'm very disappointed by that. Like, I don't like my biggest disappointment, if I can say, like, listen, I'll say overall, I love the way everything wrapped up. They did a good job wrapping things up. I just don't like the direction they took Kim. It was a complete 180 from where we thought she was going. And like it felt very, very Skylar. Like, you know, she was in it, she was doing it, she was all part of it, and then all of a sudden, like, oh my god, her hair. Oh man.
Oh, we have NBA news that came out since we've been on the air.
What's going on?
LeBron James is signing a contract extension
With the Lakers.
with the Lakers, 2-year deal.
Really?
Yes.
So Bronny's going to college.
Yep.
Bronny's going to college. That's what that means. Bronny's definitely going to college, which is good for him because Bronny, we talked about this before, he's not a good enough prospect, I believe, to go right to the NBA. Right now, he's hovering around 39. I mean, really, if you ask me really about that family, Bryce, to me, now that you have that growth spurt, is a better prospect. Unless Bronny.
He blew up, didn't he?
It was insane. It's absolutely insane. He gained like 10 inches. So,
And you know the wild thing?
What's that?
You know, the wild thing is neither one of them are even the top prospect on their team.
Right. Well, yeah, because of their dad, they're going to get the acclaim, which, you know, I get it. I think, but Bronny go to college.
Wade's son on that team too, or did he graduate?
Wade?
Yeah, isn't Dwayne Wade's son on that team?
He was playing with him. I'm not sure if he still is. But
I know he's older than Bronny, so he may have just he may have graduated.
Yeah, but he's also in the same type of tier. He's not a high.
He was a high. The thing is, Bronny wasn't a starter.
Right.
Dwayne Wade's son was a starter, though.
Yeah. So Kim, like, I don't like that. That's the one. If I'm going to complain,
she really took away all his negotiating power, and he didn't even know.
Bro, she gave that man 79 years.
No, he didn't. No, she didn't.
Kim?
Yeah.
Yes, she did. Because he negotiated his way down to 7 years.
Yeah.
And he perjured himself because of her dumbass. She gave that man 79 years.
No, he did that on purpose. He didn't have to do that.
Right, he did it for her.
Yeah, but he didn't have to, is my point. He had them down to 7 years, and that was it.
And ice cream.
And he probably would have done 2 years and got out with good behavior.
Right.
She didn't add that to his sentence. He did that himself for her.
I think he was worried about her getting in trouble.
That's her problem. That's not his problem.
I know, but that's my point. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what, but like I'm not when I say
but
he
but
gave her
she didn't. Yeah, she didn't give that to him. He
right.
did that because that that I don't blame that for her. That's just him.
Yeah, but does he do that if she didn't go do all that statement and go to the police and do all that stuff? Do you think he does that?
No, because he doesn't have to, because he has the negotiating power to leave her out of it.
Right.
So he should have just let her lay in the bed she made.
Exactly. But because but,
But it's not. So it's not her fault. He decided to help her.
well, I think I blame. But my thing is like her about face of character and her doing all this foolishness is what prompted him to
I
do
can
stuff too.
safely say this:
Okay.
there is not a single girl that I used to go out with that I would perjure myself for.
1000%. I said the same thing to Amber. I'm not purging myself for an ex.
No.
You kidding me?
So
And they hadn't been together at that point for what, 5-6 years?
5 years, 6 years, 6 years. She says 6 years.
And he's never gonna. Now listen, I said this 2 weeks ago. I don't have the same type of feelings I have for him that I do for Walter White. Walter White, I think every one of us wanted him to get away.
Yes.
Wanted him to, we rooted for him, and you see that scene. It still burns me up how he was taken advantage of from the company, and where they drag it out from underneath him, get all this money, and it kind of spirals him. So his story, you have sympathy for him. Where Saul, bro, you in witness protection effing up.
Yeah.
Like, bro, just work at Cinnabon and go home. Like, you out here running scams at the local malls, feeding that man. And by the way, that guy who eating Cinnabons every day, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, listen, I would
have a heart attack.
His cardiologist,
Yeah, is very upset with him.
not happy.
He's gonna be like that guy. Have you ever seen what's that documentary back in the day? The one where the dude goes to McDonald's every day.
Supersize Me.
Supersize Me. Did you ever watch that?
Oh yeah.
So the scene, one of my favorite scenes that's funny, but it's not supposed to be funny. The Russian doctor at the end, him describing all the things his body's going through, and the concern on his face. Like, please stop this. What are you doing? But that's kind of how his cardiologist probably looked at him.
I mean, McDonald's hasn't been the same since then.
No. But who like McDonald's isn't designed to go there and eat 3 meals a day for a month. Like, yes, obviously, idiot. If you do that, bad things gonna happen to your body. I could have told you that without 2 hours. Don't eat McDonald's every day for a month.
Did you see the Netflix documentary? I forget the comedian's name, was Super Jaime.
No.
Same concept, but he doesn't smoke for 30 days, and then he just smokes whenever he wants and does whatever he wants for 30 days. And at the end of it, the doctor was like, he lost like 2 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the doctor was like, yeah, there's no like real changes like with what you're doing, other than that, like, you seem to have no short-term memory at the moment.
But yeah, so that was a wild one. So I don't feel bad for Saul getting caught.
No.
I think at the end
It sucks how
I
he got
don't
caught.
understand. Like, I'm not, like you said, there's very few people in this world I'm taking 79 extra years for.
Yeah.
But this man's not coming home. Like, he's not coming home for any reason whatsoever. And do you really think Kim's going to go back and see him again? That's the last time they saw each other, I'm sure.
Ever.
She's not coming back to see that man.
She's going to go home.
She's going to go to Florida with, yep,
boring.
yep, man. Yep. That scene was low-key hilarious.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was just like, she probably wants to kill him.
Yeah. He was. Do you think we should use the regular mayonnaise? I used Miracle Whip for this, not the regular mayonnaise. Like, it was. Her life is just sad, and that haircut is sad.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it was just sad.
Where were they at when it was Saul and Walt talking at the end? I don't remember.
I know exactly where they were. That was. Do you remember in the original, when they go in the witness protection, they have to go to that underground bunker first. So they had a couple days there before Walt goes his separate way and Saul goes his separate way. So they had to stay there for a couple days. So that's where they were.
Gotcha.
That was like the end of the show.
But you just didn't see their conversation prior to that. It was
never showed much of you saw them and they did a brief scene with them together down there where Walt's kind of trying to strategize about how he's going to get out of this and what he's going to do. and Saul just telling him to go, which is ironic. Saul said at that point, bro, just go to protection, just stay there, you'll be fine. As Saul's out here committing crimes as Gene. So yeah, but overall, I thought it was a great series. I enjoyed it. Very different than Breaking Bad, where this was just really just strong character development of one person and one person only. Like, I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to see more of Gus at the last couple episodes, but it wasn't about him.
Well,
By the way, how did you watch the very end where they did that like goodbye, everyone said goodbye?
Yeah.
He looks like the nicest man in the world with that beard.
Yeah.
Like he looks like a complete person you want no parts of to mess with, clean shaven with the Gus look. But then the longer hair, those glasses, and like the beard, I was like, oh, okay, he looks like a neighbor.
Also, you don't really need to see Gus anymore in Better Call Saul because they married his timeline.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you're now in charge,
right?
Don Hector is out of your way,
right?
That's
true. Yeah,
they kind of they brought it up to they introduced who's the weird dude the other scientist that's there who's that Jesse kills.
Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
No, I want to call him Gene, but I know it's not Gene.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. This is gonna bother me. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he but like he's they've already introduced him. He's kind of Walt, Saul's has referenced Walt already to Mike.
Right.
So they've married Gus's time
together. Yeah.
You didn't need to see that.
Yeah, I guess right.
How about, did you catch what I said last week?
I don't know, I didn't.
So Kim leaves the office. Okay. Saul waves the next guy in. Do you recognize who that guy is?
No.
He's the same guy that gets melted through the bathtub.
Oh my gosh, that's him?
That's him. Because Kim goes outside and Jesse bums a cig and says,
right,
my friend's inside. He needs some legal help. We got in trouble with the DEA.
Right. And I know that was when Jesse brings Walt to him eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So her asking if this guy's any good, whatever.
Yep.
So I got that, but I didn't. Oh man.
Yeah. The guy that walks into the office after Kim comes out is the guy that gets melted through the bathtub.
That's insane. Wow. That's an interesting tidbit. See, they're really good at tying all this together and making everything make sense.
Well, do you remember the guy that was walking through the neighborhood? So obviously they got the guy in the bathtub, the guy that's chained into the basement.
Yeah.
That's walking through. Do you remember where you saw him?
In the show?
Yeah, in Saul. He's in quite a few episodes of Saul.
No, it was earlier seasons?
Yep. Remember when Don Hector, before he's in a wheelchair, somebody shorts Nacho money and he leaves, and Don Hector
I remember that.
He goes, who works for who? To Nacho?
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
Wow. Okay.
So, those low-level guys were the ones that met Jesse.
Right. Yeah, so
if you have it on your DVR, go back and watch the scene where Kim walks out and watch him walk in.
I saw him walk in. I just didn't recognize him.
He's got the black beanie and the black
I remember you said that. I paid attention, but I just didn't recognize who he was.
Yep, he's the guy that got melted into the bathtub.
Wow, how about that?
And that's why when I saw that, I was like, wait. And I didn't expect to see Jesse, but I was like, I know that guy.
Well, it seems like the Breaking Bad franchise is
done.
I mean, it seems that they're done with everything.
They got the trifecta. They got the main series, they got a movie, and they got a prequel.
Yeah, so I mean, the show started, I believe, like 2008. So they got a
09, I think.
09.
I think so. Let me put.
You got a 13-year run out of this. And again, if you're HBO, how salty are you that you passed on this series? And this could have been on your network.
Yeah.
With HBO, it's definitely always
08, January 08.
08, yeah. So 08 to 2022. It's a good run, 14 years. 14 years, 2 shows and a movie.
2 shows and a movie.
Love it.
And made several careers.
Correct. Made you see Bryan Cranston in a different light. Definitely made Aaron Paul. And then,
Is Bryan Cranston the only person who was probably made before this?
Yeah, he was the only one anyone ever knew. And it was honestly a risk because, listen, it took me a good 5-6 episodes to not look at him as Hal, Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, same.
Like, I was like, because he was doing some Hal things. So like, I was like, this is kind of too much like Hal, but boy, am I glad I stuck with it because now he's Walter White. He's Walter White, who used to be Hal too.
Heisenberg.
Yeah, I'm happy with how everything turned out. I thought it was good. I like the fact that Saul got caught. I think he deserved to get caught. So yeah, I think everything turned out pretty well, the way it's supposed to be turned out.
Actually, I forget the
the Marie Schrader cameo. That was a nice touch.
Oh yeah, I hated that character though.
But I like the touch of bringing her back for a little bit because like it's interesting to see like where she's at.
The funny thing is she's having the meltdown. The only thing I'm sitting there is like, you're yelling at the wrong person.
Right.
Like you're mad at the wrong person.
Right.
Like, he didn't kill your husband.
Your brother-in-law kind of did that.
Yeah, like you're like
he's sort of responsible. Well, I mean, if you really want to really point the finger, it's really Jesse's fault.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not Saul's fault that
Hank got killed. Everything that unraveled at the end is Jesse's fault. As usual, it's always Jesse's fault.
I was gonna say, at the end of the day, you can look at the entire series is his fault.
Yeah.
Like everything that happens in both shows in the movie, everything that goes bad is because of Saul and Jesse.
Yep. 1000%. And Walt trying to bail him out.
Both of them.
Yep.
Yeah, but they had to end it, and I'm okay with how they ended it.
Me too. I'm very good with how everything turned out.
Like,
I was very satisfied at the end.
Yeah, I really wasn't going to, because I knew they eventually had to end it, and it just had to stop.
Right.
I really kind of almost didn't care how the last episode turned out because you knew it was going to be the end.
Right. All right. Well, I got nothing left.
I had something wild to tell you that I had written down in my notes, but I forgot my notebook upstairs. So I'll have to get pushed off. Every once in a while, I encounter something, and I'm just like, I got to make a mental note to bring that up on the show.
Well, save it for next time.
Yep.
And at Marques Speech Week and everywhere.
Yeah, I at Justin Emery Show on social media.
Brad Emery Pod everywhere. BradEmery.com for the merch. Check out our friends at Vans Jewelers as usual. And until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.